Hello, external cooperating teachers. My name is Maria Spalding, and I'm the coordinator for student teaching, and I just wanted to welcome you to Liberty University and give you an overview of your role as a cooperating teacher. Before we get started discussing the specific duties included in your role, I just want to take a moment to thank you for your service to our student teachers. We sincerely appreciate all the mentorship and support that you are going to provide to our candidates this semester as they are student teaching externally. I know that some of you have worked with Liberty before, but others haven't, so I'd like to review LU's mission statement with you. Liberty is a Christian liberal arts university, and its mission is to produce Christ-centered men and women with values, knowledge, and skills required to impact the world. So in our program, we prepare educators to teach in both Christian and public school settings. There are three separate parts that our School of Education's conceptual framework covers. First, we'd like our students to know Christian values, also to have general content knowledge, understand curriculum goals, and to be able to implement this in the classroom. We believe that teaching is a calling from God and that our students are equipped with the skills necessary to perform during their student teaching placement. They also should believe and practice personal integrity that applies to working with all students in your classroom and decisions that they make regarding instructional practices. Another important area of focus in Liberty's philosophy are script dispositions. And these include social responsibility, commitment, reflective practice, integrity, and professionalism. And these are 5 areas that we are looking for our student teachers to perform. For example, we expect our student teachers to have a responsibility to educate and meet the needs of all of your learners. We expect them to be committed to coming early, staying late, submitting lesson plans on time, reflecting on their practice. We ask them to turn in weekly journal logs where they reflect on how the week went, on their successes and areas needed to improve. We also are looking for integrity and professionalism throughout their time in your classroom. If you at any point in time ever notice a deficiency in one of these areas, please reach out to the university supervisor so that we can better support you and our candidate. Since you are working with one of our external candidates, communication is key. Our student teaching handbook encompasses all of our important forms and documents that the student teacher will need throughout the placement. There is a copy available online, and I've included the web address on the slide. And you'll also receive an email that will have a link that you can easily click on to find any information that's needed during their time in your classroom. Now I'd like to review some of the cooperating teacher responsibilities. Your responsibilities include sharing knowledge, skills, and information with the student teacher. And you'll be observing the candidate and giving feedback throughout the placement time. You'll also be demonstrating skills that the candidate needs to be aware of and familiarizing the student teacher with the policies of your school, procedures, and the culture of your classroom. So at the beginning of the time, the student teacher will be observing you. But after they assume subject matter, you'll be able to observe them and provide some feedback. You'll also be maintaining close contact with the university supervisor and the on-site supervisor and completing live text assessments in both the midpoint and the end of the placement. And I've created a separate video about live text assessments just as a review of when those are completed and what they entail. Your student teacher might also ask you to write a letter of reference or recommendation. We do ask you to slowly hand over control of the classroom to the student teacher, but they should never be left alone in the classroom. And a substitute will need to be assigned if you are going to be out for the day or attending a workshop for the day, so that they are not left alone in the classroom for an extended period of time. At Liberty, we believe in a co-teaching model. There's nothing more beautiful to me as a university supervisor is when I walk into a classroom and I see my student teacher and the cooperating teacher working in perfect harmony, managing the instructional time, student behaviors, etc. So you're going to share in the delivery of instruction and also the physical space of the classroom. Our student teachers should not be sitting at a desk in the back of the room working on lesson plans or working on a project. They should be actively involved with the students and assisting you throughout the day. They should also be understanding your expectations, so please give very clear instructions regarding your expectations. For example, if school starts at 8 o'clock and teachers are required to be there at 7:45, but you'd like to have a meeting every morning at 7:30 to get organized with your student teacher, make it very clear that you expect him or her to be there by that time. Also let them know where to put their personal items in your classroom, where their workspace is, and any other expectations that you might have. The more detailed expectations you give at the beginning of the placement will help the student teacher to become more self-directed by the end. Another hot topic during student teaching is lesson planning. Our student teacher candidates have a required template that they are supposed to use for all of their lesson plans. They are not allowed to teach any lessons that have not been approved by you. So our lesson plans are due the Friday by midnight, so they should give them to you on Wednesday or Thursday to review and approve for the upcoming week. They will also be giving a copy to the on-site supervisor so that the on-site supervisor can plan upcoming observations and know what's going on in the classroom. The university supervisor will also be receiving a copy to make sure that everything is on track as well. Every subject that your student teacher is assigned will begin with 5 detailed lesson plans. So as I mentioned before, when your student teacher begins, they generally observe for a week or so to figure out the routines and structure of your classroom. After that observational time ends, they will gradually be picking up one subject at a time. So for example, if you are going to assign math in week 2 or week 3, they would need to start with 5 detailed math plans. After those have been approved, then the following week they could submit 5 block plans for math and 5 detailed plans for the next subject that you've added on to their to-do list. I'd like to also talk for a moment about the role of the university supervisor. The supervisor from Liberty should be sending an email every week, typically on a Monday or toward the beginning of the week, to both you, the cooperating teacher, and the on-site supervisor. They will also be following up with phone calls or conferences if they are needed. They'll be hosting a WebEx meeting at the beginning of the semester to see if you have any questions or concerns about the student teaching experience. The university supervisor will be providing feedback to the student teacher, grading all assignments which are submitted via Blackboard and LiveText, and essentially there to support you throughout the placement. The on-site supervisor's role varies a bit from the university supervisor. This person will be the physical presence, the person that comes to your classroom for the initial visit to meet you and the candidate. This will be the person that formally comes and observes the student teacher and also provides further feedback after the observation times. So they are essentially the bridge between the local school system and the university supervisor. They can provide very valuable insight to us that we might miss from a distance. So they should be there to work alongside of you and support the candidate along with you. I also wanted to give you a little bit more information about their role. So when the on-site supervisor comes for the initial visit, they will be introducing themselves, finding your classroom, seeing if there's any questions, getting to know you. But when they come for the formal observation, I've included a picture of what an observation form would look like. That can be found in the Student Teaching Handbook. And you will notice at the bottom that all 3 signatures are required. The signature of the student teacher, cooperating teacher, and on-site supervisor. I would like to include one important reminder about our expectations at Liberty. We expect all of our student teachers to be at school every single day. They are required to go to all of your faculty meetings, parent-teacher conferences, IEP meetings, any professional development that you are also required to attend. We do allow our students to go to job interviews and job fairs, but other than that, they should be at school every single day alongside of you. So it's very important that you reach out to the university supervisor if you notice that they're having any attendance issues or any other concerning behaviors during the placement. In closing, I'd just like to thank you again for being willing to serve as a mentor to a student teacher this semester. I want to remind you that we are always here to support you and just thank you for making a difference in the life of a future teacher. Take care.